Izzy and Fayna, thank you so much for taking time out. I imagine that you're quite busy at the moment as we talk about House of Ashes screening at FrightFest Glasgow. Firstly, congratulations on being selected, and two, how are you both feeling about screening at the festival?
Wow, bucket list, really. It's first feature. I've always dreamed about going over to Fright Fest, and I'm an alumni with a couple of short films, Fright Fest London. So I'm really, really, really excited. I finally get to go, and I know we're gonna have a blast. I know the audience is gonna be great. We're gonna have so much fun, and can't wait to see you there.
Yeah, I am. I'm thrilled. I'm over the moon. I've actually never, this will be my first time going to Fright Fest. This will be my first time in the UK. I'm like not proud to say that. So I'm like a little kid. I'm so excited and yeah, I just want to soak it all up.
How have you both been describing, House of Ashes to people? When been saying, so what's this project? How have people-
Hmm. I tell them it's got a socio-political backdrop because here in the US we have a bunch of crazy people running things. And as I'm sure you have heard, every day, 10 more things. So we kind of start off with Fina, who plays the lead Mia. She's under house arrest for the crime of having a miscarriage, because that's where we've been and that's where we're still headed. And the bigger problem is she's got some things to deal with, some bad male energy and maybe some bad neighbors and some bad boyfriends and things like that to deal with, and she can't leave. So how does she survive? Yeah.
Yeah, for me, this story is such a story about grief. Um, Grief of like all forms, obviously the loss of her husband, the loss of her baby, but also just like the loss of her autonomy, and the kind of like just profound loss of like how we have to move through the world without full autonomy over our bodies, over our um, our identity as women. And I think that that can be a universal thing. But the when I first read the script, that's what like overwhelmingly what I related to was just this story of someone who just does not have any autonomy over her life in any stage of it. And there's a lot of grief and a lot of pain and a lot of loss in that I think many people can relate to, unfortunately.
What was it about Mia that really did speak to you outside of the things in the script? What was it about her that made you feel that you were that you were the right person to tell her story?
Um, I'm like not proud to say it, but I understood her. I understood um, making decisions that you know are not right for comfort, possibly staying in a relationship that you know isn't for you. And the things that we do when we're lost, the things that we do when we're grieving, the things that we do when we just want to feel less alone in the world. That made sense to me. I understood that, and that was the story that I was really drawn to and really interested in trying to tell. Like n knowing that something was wrong with this relationship, but understanding that people do this kind of thing all the time for many different reasons, and that was like a challenge that I wanted to take on is can I do this justice and tell that story in an authentic way?
Yeah. And Izzy,
Nailed it.
you've got a lot of short films under your belt, and some of them are drastically different in terms of tone. I'm thinking something like Meet Friend. It couldn't be. more different, I guess, in a lot of ways from House of Ashes. What was it about this story that made it like one to sort of enter the world of feature films? Because I am kind of come out into the world with something a little fluffier, but this is it does have this message. It is trying to say something. Why was it important that this be the platform for your first feature?
Well, I tend to go back and forth between that absurd nihilism that you have seen in Meet Friend and uh, a a more social political thriller type of film, and that's where you will see my anger come out. I got into filmmaking because of politics here in this country over a decade ago. I had done like shorts in college and in high school and stuff, and I was an ex-theater kid and always a writer and painter and things like that. But like, um, I had a little bit of seed money. I raised more. I needed to have a small contained location. Um, these things were all within the budget, but at the core, I really needed to get out some of my frustrations and rage because we're not treated fairly, not here in the US, not in most of the world. Um, and it's deeply infuriating, and it's as Fina was saying, the autonomy, we don't have it. We have the illusion of it, but I don't know why it has to be such a fucking war. And this is all of my fears, frustration, anger. There's a lot of cathartic comeuppance, to be a little flippant about it, because we don't really often get justice in the real world for the things that are done to us. You know what I mean? And it was a story that we could do with the budget we had, and it was important for me to get this out there and say, hey, world, if you hadn't noticed, there's a whole lot of crap coming down the pipe, so maybe you should pay attention. Hi.
And one of the great things I think about the film is that so much of the film is indoors. The fact that Mia's house arrest is, yes, it's part of the plot. That's why she's there. But then you have this sort of chamber piece where everything just feels oppressive, not just her situation, but the environment. I mean, I think there's very little natural light. Like I think I've got a note down. It's like, what are the notes in this place? Like how did you sort of like go about that location and and getting that real sense of phobia? There's just everything is coming down on her.
It felt like it was kismet, that location, because we had talked to so many location owners and managers and gotten the runaround, like outright scammers. I'm pretty sure we talked to some scammers. We talked to people that laughed in our face for the budget that we had. We talked to, all sorts of people that their spaces weren't quite right for one reason or another. And then, one of my mentors I had been speaking with about this whole filmmaking process because he had been through it several times. I said, look, I have you been through this before? Because I'm having a real hard time just getting a location in LA. I'm, myself and my partner, who the other writer producer, Steve Johansson, we are in the Bay Area and everybody else is in LA. So it made so much more sense for us to go down there, and everyone in the cast and crew could they get a home night, sleep in their comfortable beds, all of that. And anyway, so my mentor said, like, well, I'm going to be filming in New York from this date to this date. And I just realized my house was the House of Ashes. And it worked out that his place is like really fucking strange. So he sent me house plans, the schematics. He sent me a walkthrough video. And at first I was like, I don't know about this. Like, this is really wonderful to have dropped in my lap. And for that alone, and I really trust this person and he trusts me, I'm seriously looking into this. But then I saw how like really kind of dark and cozy and shadow filled this place was. I thought, oh man, I'm gonna have to rewrite the script to fit this weird house. It's built into a hill in like 3 or 4 layers, and there are these crazy outside stairs, which I have dubbed the LA Exorcist stairs because they're so tall and almost vertical. And oh my God, good luck to you if you fall. Um, the house really brought a sense of foreboding and being closed in for me. And I realized that, there's no way that we're not going to make this work. We'll figure it out with wide angle lenses and, creative blocking and things like that. And um, it really did become this sort of bastion of oppression that I felt while writing the script. So it really, really worked out. I'm very grateful.
How do patients sort of help you as an actor? How does being immersed in that environment help over, say, being on a soundstage?
Yeah, well, exactly what you both have said. It was a small space, so we were just there, we were there. It was interesting because, unlike a lot of other projects, I didn't know anybody on the set, so day one, we're all kind of meeting each other for the first time in this new location. And it was a really ambitious project to shoot in a short period of time and in this small space and stuff. So there was this like really, I'm so grateful for it. It was just kind of like, okay, here we go. And it was like a leap of faith into this. And like, I mean, minute one, day one. And so really right off the bat, I kind of chose to just own this space. Like this is my home. So I need to feel really comfortable here. And there wasn't time for anything else, really. You just had to kind of own it. But it worked out so well because the space was small and we were just, there living and breathing there 24/7, basically the whole time we were shooting. Um, it became, you know, this juxtaposition, this like it's her home, it's like her safety net, yet also it's her prison. Um, and really wanting to feel both of those things. Um, it really helps to be there and feel all of that, but like right away. We all just kind of committed to that's what this was. Um, and it helped. It kind of helped that it was small. It helped that there wasn't, a trailer to go to. Afterwards, there wasn't, these other things. It was like, nope, you're just here surrounded by this safe prison space. So it was great. It was great.
And one thing that I sort of learned over the years of covering Fright Fest and that is just, how supportive the California horror, independent film industry seems to be. And I know that there'll be a few familiar faces popping up to people that have attended. Joe Lynch has got a little sort of cameo in it. How does it feel sort of, being involved in this community? And then I guess after years of them now that they've come to help bring your feature to life.
It's been a joy. Um, you're say you're a film director, you happen to be a woman. It sucks, okay? So I'm not gonna lie, it fucking sucks. Um, so when you find guys in the industry, and they are mostly guys in these, above the line positions, it's really, really comforting and wonderful to have that kind of support, to have that allyship, that friendship, that offer of, yeah, man, I'll help you out. What do you need? Oh my God, thank you. Yeah, Mick Garris gave us a lovely little voiceover. Joe Lynch was there day one, and that was probably our most chaotic day because there was so much going on due to everyone's, availabilities. And he was super, super supportive and really kind and gave me a little gentle pep talk before we started filming. And he's like, "Hey, you've got a great team. You're gonna You're gonna do this and you're gonna do it well. You've got this. And my God, that support is everything. And he came to Bumbucksang too. And that was really rad. And um, friends are friends are family, you know. And it's so hard to get a movie made at this level or most levels, really. It's just you take all the help that you can get, and you tend to help each other because we know it's, you know, a whole pool full of sharks, and it's insane. So you do what you gotta.
And you mentioned it's it shouldn't be hard, but it is hard for, a woman in this industry across the board. But I think particularly horror's always kind of been stigmatized then to be then a female director working in genre. You're hopeful that maybe with, films like The Substance, getting that recognition in, the big, Academy Award and stuff, you're hopeful that maybe studios might finally relent and go, okay, let's let the women talk.
I mean, I hope so. We've proven ourselves to make box over like 20 times over, you know, in the case of Coralie Farge, she's fucking amazing. Why wouldn't you want more of that? You know, not only do you get a fresh perspective and something energetic and exciting and different, but you make so much more money. It's awesome. And yet, here we are. So, you know, like the first Omen was amazing. Like, I highly recommend that. You know, another female directed film knocked it out of the park, and it's shocking what the studio let her get away with. So, there is hope. There's just not a whole lot of it because the industry is just in the gutter at this point. So, yeah, man, if I was in the French Directors Guild, I'm sure, you know, I'd have more opportunities, but this is America and this is the evil empire. So, pull
Well,
yourself up by your bootstraps.
hopefully, things will at some point change. But sort of going back to the Fright Fest screening, what do you both hope that the audience take from this film besides, storming America? What do we hope that they get from this film?
Well, I just, you know, intelligent conversations would be nice. Seeing a different perspective is a beautiful thing, you know. Film is an empathy machine. I'm not sure who said it first. That's been going around for a little bit. Um, and film as a medium for telling stories is extremely powerful, you know. You can see yourself in someone else's shoes. You can feel what they feel. You can imagine what they're going through. You know, that is if you do have empathy. If you don't, you probably don't go to the theaters in the first place. So I'm not sure that matters, but it's nice to, you know, go to a different country because I've unfortunately never been to the UK either. And I'm extremely excited. I'm extremely excited to go see what people's opinions are of what's going on here, you know? And you wrap that up in a little thriller horror nugget and you make it tasty and you can get all sorts of things across.
And finding yourself?
Yeah, I at the risk of sounding like dramatic, the whole reason that I am an actor or, a filmmaker, artist or whatever is because I just want to make people feel something. I want to have them question their beliefs or question their morals or question things that they might walk into a theater with, regardless of what the show is. If I can do that, if I can make you kind of go, huh, or, you know, feel something that you may have not have felt or something unexpected, then I've done my job. That's like what I really do this for. And I think specifically with House of Ashes, I my biggest goal was to because there's a lot of fantastical elements. There's a lot going on in this movie. Um, but I was really interested in telling hopefully a truthful story about this woman and what loss and grief can manifest as. Um, and I just want people to see that. If people could see that, then I feel like I've done my job well.
Well, thank you both for your time and thank you for the film and best of luck with the screening.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thanks so much, Kat.